How's everyone doing today? Let's go. What a crazy little ride there. Let's go. Yeah, we'll go over that. We'll go over leap contracts and everything here. If everyone's having a good day today. I know a lot of people are pissed off with the stock. Some people are going crazy with this offering. We'll get into that here in a second. I'm just going to let some people jump in. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Man, what a crazy last 48 hours. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that could be at play here. So we're going to get into a lot of this stuff here. Just going to let some people jump in. Yeah, we'll go over the leap contracts here. But, all right, we got enough people. We got 200 and they were good enough. All right, so let's get started here. So first thing I want to cover before we get into the leap options and everything like that, I don't have a whole super lot today, but I do want to get into everything that's currently just happening, going out with AMC, because I'm getting a lot of the same questions. So a lot of people are talking about the dividend. I don't really see the dividend coming yet. But let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm sure everybody's heard today they did a private offering, and it was for $163,850,000 off of the debt, and that was the 10 to 12 year bonds. That is our highest interest rated debt, and this was what I've been waiting to see here. Now, I know I said we were going to do one raise, and apparently we needed two. I told you last, going into Q1 here, we're going to have about 250 cash burn, and we ended up having about 260 total. And that equity, that ATM basically recovered everything we burned in Q1. So what did he end up doing while the price was rising, which we're going to get into leap years and all this stuff in a second. While the price was rising, everything was going up, he went ahead and he did an equity for $733 in exchange. So like I said, this is what we needed to do to be able to finally restructure the debt. I told you guys we needed to be able to pay down about $100 million. We paid $164 million down. Sorry, I'm losing my voice today. We ended up paying $164 million down. Now, that tells me we're definitely going to be restructuring this. He's been talking about doing that for quite a while. Now, here's the thing. All day on Twitter, you have people going crazy. He didn't wait until the run-up, and then it's like, well, then he took advantage of it. The same people that were complaining about it the day before, why didn't he wait until we ran up? Instead, he waited and finished the other offering at $3. Well, I told you why he did the $3 thing. Like I said, it was about 10%. So Matt told you it was finished at that point. I told you it was finished at about noon. So like I said, the thing about these private offerings, and this is what I want to get into, because a lot of people do this every single time. All right, AA just killed the squeeze and killed the momentum. Okay, well, let's think logically here. The day all this started happening on Monday, there was a couple stocks that were, and this is where leap years kind of come in. There's a whole bunch of stuff that comes into play here. So this is where that Schwab thing comes into play. I went over last week. So on Monday, what happened? You had COS, GME, AMC. It was the meme stocks. It was all the same exact people. And this is why, in a sense, the leap year theory makes sense. And I'll get into a couple of theories here real quick so everybody can see. But I never show Reddit stuff on this. I never read Reddit. But, so a lot of people showed me this stuff on Reddit. And this guy makes a lot of sense. And you got to give credit where it's due. So whoever this is on Super Stocks, catch. Let me give you a little karma action there, my friend. I know. Oh man, I know. Ken, this is my third fucking Reddit account. I know. All right, whatever. We'll get back to that. So one of the things he was talking about was, and then another thing that kind of plays into this theory as well, is Ryan Cohen. Right after all of the meme stock exploded, he wrote a frog. He tweeted out a picture of a frog. Well, frogs leap. So leap suddenly, when it all started going down, he could have said, hey, leap, they got out in these leap contracts. Well, those are actually every 3 years. They last usually around 2 to 3 years. The reason they're leap contracts is they're over a year. So it's usually around 2, but most of the time they expire in 3. So one of the things a lot of people are talking about is these guys right around February 14th, every 39 months. Well, guess what? That's right around now. So right around there, he thinks that deep fucking value saw these leap contracts coming up. On top of that, I told you guys about the Schwab thing, so this could have been another thing at play as well. So you also had Charles Schwab. This was on Friday. Charles Schwab shut down all of TD Ameritrade's platforms, okay? Their entire platform. And if you guys read, it ended that on Friday. So Friday in the end of the market hours. So at the end of the day on Friday, it was done. To me, what that means, and I told you guys this also, that tells me also they had to go in on Monday, pre-market, and they needed to start to cover some of these TD Ameritrade shares. Well, guess what those TD Ameritrade shares are going to be mostly of? Retail, which would have been the meme stocks, the baskets. Now, everybody that sits there and wants to blame Adam Aaron right now, well, it broke down. Okay, let's think logically for 1 second. He did a private offering. They never once hit the market, okay? So demand, stocks rise on supply and demand. Demand was instantly equaled out for the amount that the supply raised, okay? So it equaled it out. So that should have no effect in it. And again, it never, ever hit the market. Now, on top of that, it was at $7.33. So basically, you have 23 million shares purchased at $7.33, and you're telling me that that would bring the price down to $4.96 that we hit today? That makes no sense. Again, on top of that, this morning, GameStop was at $60 once again. It's down to $36. Did they dilute? Did they do an offering? No. We'll get into what happened again. Same with COS. It's the same shit. 20%, 20%, 16% now for AMC. We were down 20-something percent. They're all down the same exact percent. It's the same. You can see what they're doing. Now, first of all, let's get into something really quick before I keep going on to these other things. Yesterday, I want you guys to understand something, because nobody else has talked about this yet. When does most trading occur in a day? It's in the first 2 hours of trading. It's in the first 2 hours of trading. That's when most of it occurs. Well, guess what? During the first 2 hours of trading, AMC had 19 halts. Up to 12 o'clock, AMC had 19 halts. Now, if you want to keep track of halts, here you go. I'm going to send you guys the link. So if you guys come look at this link, you can track halts. So like today, let's once again look at here today. The problem was, we'll get into AMC here in a minute, but okay. So by 12 o'clock, you had 19 halts. They last for 5 minutes apiece. So you have 3 hours in the trading day. 19. Let's see here quick. I don't want. Oh, here, fuck. So you've already lost an hour and 35 minutes. So basically, about 48% to 49% of the time that AMC was available to be trading during the first 3 hours, it was halted. Okay. It ended up being halted sometime. It was like 25 times or some stupid fucking thing. Okay. Now, they did the same thing to GameStop, and now they're doing it again today. So if you guys look over here, so from 12 to 1 o'clock on top of this, you had look at the halting. AMC, 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 GME, CRNC, AMC, GME, AMC, GME, AMC, GME, AMC. Fucking 9 times right there. So 9 times in 1 hour. 45 minutes out of 1 hour, AMC was shut down. It was available for 15 minutes out of 1 hour. On top of that, you had computer share go down. On top of that, you had multiple brokers. I think it was E-Trade. I had a whole bunch of people. I can't remember what. There was like 3 brokers that people kept showing me. Dude, it won't let me do anything. One of them or 2 of them were down for the entire day, dude. It was insanity. It was the same shit all over again. Now, I want you guys to understand something. During each one of these halts, like I've told you guys before, we're stopped from buying. They're not. So what were they doing in the background? Well, every single time you would get a halt, you were getting large dark pool prints. Large dark pool prints. Right below the value. Right below the value. Bringing it down. Bringing it down. Bringing it down. And it's funny because they'll sit there. This is what I'm saying. This shit is just so stupid because suddenly they'll halt it. It'll drop 45 cents in 1 second. And then they'll unhalt it. And then they'll halt it again. Like, you should have, like I said, look at these times. Fuck did they go? Look at these times. 12:02, 12:13, 12:24. So from 12:24 to 12:30, 12:39, 12:45, 12:51. So we're getting like 5-6 minute intervals in between. 12:58, 104. Okay, so every literally 6-7 minutes, halt. Joke. Joke. Now, in between what I'm thinking now, what this tells me, because this is why I bring up the leap theory. What I think is happening, and what I think that they did, and there'll be another thing that I want to show you, because I want to show you guys a whole bunch of different theories. You guys think what you want today. I'll tell you what I think is the most logical at the end, but I want people to look at what's going on, because there's a whole bunch of things at play, and I think whether one of these is actually correct. Now, when you look at these leap theories, what I believe is happening is why they kept on dropping it, because these guys were down. If you guys look, fuck it. So in the last 2 days, okay, just listen to this. So in the last 2 days, AMC shorts were down $1.6 billion. GameStop shorts were down, it was like 2.9. It was over $5 billion combined for these guys that they were down just from the 2 stocks in 2 short days. So what these guys were doing, and I believe when it started coming to the leap time, what they were doing is why it was dropping, why it was halting, and they were panicking because these things are due on Friday. On top of that, you got the CAT system coming in. So a lot of this data and a lot of this stuff has to be accurate, because one of the things that a lot of people said, and one of the things that I thought, and I figured out, obviously that would make sense. A lot of people thought that they could get around the CAT system with old data. But here's the problem. Let's pretend that I give you old data with the CAT system. And I'm just thinking logically, and I'm just thinking as a programmer, because I worked in implementation. So eventually these things would come out because they should be where they're not. Something should be there, and suddenly it's not in that spot. Eventually it comes forward. So, okay, let's say just to make this easy, make it simple. Let's just say I'm a small bank, okay? And let's say I have 1,000 shares of AMC. Doesn't matter if it's through swaps, whatever. Let's just say, just to make it simple, we'll just do 1,000. Okay. So let's say I give you that data, and I only have 100. Okay. But let's pretend that my old data says I have 1,000. When I send that old data in there that I have 1,000 shares, they're gonna now, all right, SEC will see this, and they'll see I have 1,000 shares worth. But but in reality, I'll only have 100. So when I go over and they do any kind of audit of any single kind, all of those shares that they said they have, well, they'll be like, well, where the hell are they? Because they're going to look through it and say, you said you have this, but when they go into their portfolios, they'll see all the stuff. They're going to be like, okay, but checks and balances don't match anymore. You obviously gave us incorrect data. And that's one of the things that I think you're going to see here very soon, is the SEC going after a lot of these people. What right off the bat is they're going to go after them for giving incorrect data. It's a fine they can't dispute. It's something they can't dispute. It's at no cost to them. It's pretty much free money for them. They're trying to fund that system. It's easy and it's a quick Quick way to fund it. And on top of that, again, you're doing incorrect data. What you're doing is not following SEC it's a violation rule. You're breaking the violation because you weren't up to code at this point. So they have every right in the world to go ahead and fine the hell out of you and keep putting that into the funds. So to me, that's something the SEC would be very, very smart to do, is go, all right, well, now that we can prove, you said you got all these from all this, we can go ahead and match it up. And if they didn't, on their data that they submit, if they say they didn't do that to you, well, guess what? Eventually, all these, all paths have to come to an end. There eventually has to be that pot of gold. So, and that's the thing. It's not like it's like, all right, I need to go in. And this was the number one reason they're scared. The SEC doesn't need to go into your system anymore, guys. They don't need to come to your company, take fucking weeks to go through all the bullshit. They don't have to because they hide shit. They hide the folders. They hide everything. They hide servers. They already showed you Dougie Fresh had I already showed you guys. Doug Fresh at Virtue had a backup server that had all data exposed. And this is what's funny to me. This is what's absolutely fucking hilarious. So Doug Fresh, they got charged. I just showed you last week. JP Morgan, oh, we don't like the CAT system, but they're selling your fucking data that they're worried is going to get out through the CAT system. Virtue Finance had a backup system of all of their data, of all of their live market trades, everything. People that didn't work there were accessing the server. They didn't even fucking work there, but they had live market data. That's priceless. And what did those firms do? They fucking traded off it, and they traded and they killed it. So guess what? Virtue is another people. We're scared that your data might be breached. Why, they literally are breaching your data themselves. What a fucking gong show. That's why I hate fucking Doug. That's why I hate all these piles of shit. And this is what's funny. We're running. Where are all the shills? Nowhere. None of them are there to say a word. But what happens? All the old YouTubers come out from out of the woodworks. I'm not even going to name the fuckers. You know who they are. I'm not even going to give them publicity. All those losers come out. Oh my God, I predicted the run-up on AMC. Shut the fuck up. No, you didn't. You've been whining about us for the last 3 years nonstop. You did not. Fuck off. But now those same fuckers are again, back to the same shit. Adam Aaron, who did a private offering, which literally wouldn't lower the price because, again, supply and demand are instantly met. On top of it, it went straight to debt. Now, back to this. Again, so what they were doing. So with the LEAP contracts, this is my theory with the LEAP contracts as well. This is why I believe this is a correct theory. And I truly believe 100% it wasn't just retail jumping in. I don't believe it was just these influencers suddenly coming on, 4 or 5 people, and it was just Roaring Kitty. Because if it was Roaring Kitty, it wouldn't have had the effect on Kaz. It wouldn't have had the effect on the meme baskets. All of them. And then they all played up and down the same way. I mean, even just looking, like I said, I'm not going to I should just pull up all my charts. I don't like to pull up charts. I don't like to give any company fucking, I just Google it because everyone just Googles everything. So I don't like to give any company any type of publicity. But I do, I guess, whatever. Fuck it, I'm not even telling you what I use. Look at the charts, though. I mean, they're the same exact fucking behavior. All day. Start up, jump down, same fucking hoops, same percent down, it's the same shit. It's now they're catching up. It's the same fucking pattern, same shit. So what I believe is happening, I believe Roaring Kitty did see this shit right here. I believe he did see this. I believe the Ryan Cohen, the frog thing, when you start to look at what they can and cannot say, when you look at leap years at that exact moment, when you look at everything with timing, everybody always knows something. So what I believe that they did is they started covering not the shorts you see. And I'm not, listen to me, and I want you to listen carefully, because there'll be people that blow this out of fucking proportion and don't. What I believe happened is these started coming up. And what they started to do is, as it started to explode, because it should have fucking exploded, they did these halts. They did mass printing on, now listen, it's different. They printed out enough leverage. I'm not saying that, guys, oh god, I believe there's so many of these positions, it's not even funny, that even small little things like this is not enough to matter. I believe they rolled out enough of these positions to now make out new type of contracts and roll them over, or leverage themselves down in a little bit. And then on top of that, he called them out. And on top of that, it was Schwab. I believe all three of these started happening. Because again, just the fact that Schwab had to cover the rest of these TD Ameritrades on Monday, the exact same day. And one of the things we've always noticed is every time the brokers did mass transfers, stocks had to be purchased and it went flying up in volume. Now, I believe that they could have rolled a lot of these options in, because if you look every single time, literally Stephanie posted every fucking time that they halted. I didn't want to pull up every single one. I just wanted to give you examples. But it was literally look at this. It's literally every time they fucking halted. Dark bull print AMC, dark bull print, massive dark bull print, massive dark bull print, massive dark bull print. They did it again. They did it again. Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh, they printed another one. Look how many I just showed you in fucking under 10 minutes. In 1 hour, I just showed you 10 massive dark pool prints right at the nick of time, right during the halts. And then they fucking dropped it each time. You could literally watch Stephanie's post and then watch the price action. It was fucking stupid as hell. And I'm sitting there going, okay, are they just deleveraging enough to where these banks, once a fucking gain, are going to say, we'll let you roll these over for these fees and shit? Now, another thing that I want people to understand, when they do these leap options, the market makers, here's the fucking problem. A lot of times, the leverage ends up ending up in the market makers. Well, one of the things that we learned through the fucking lawsuit with Overstock, and I've stated this many times, one of the things these market makers can do, I want you to listen because this is insanely fucking important right here. One of the things these guys can do is called a flex option, okay? Now listen to right there. If you go to SIBO and you look at the benefits of flex options, this is something that I believe they could probably get away with on some bullshit. Is if you look at these flex options, one of the main benefits is look at the expiration date. One of the main benefits is they expire up to 15 years from the date. Now, here's one of my theories, because it ends up going back to them. What they could do is, because they have the market makers over here, if they wrote the flex options to cover the leap calls in the background, they could have up to 15 years where they could sit there and allow these fuckers to slowly kind of unwind some shit. And if they halt this crap, and I don't think it's going to last that long, but could have been one of their emergency type of routes. All right, well, we technically have the shares covered in the background by these flex options for up to this. So if you can deleverage this enough, and then pay me what the amount you deleverage, we'll go ahead and we'll re-roll this over for a small fucking fee type thing. And that's the thing, yeah. In chat, again, cost didn't dilute today. GME did not dilute today, and they're following and doing the same shit. The thing the offering did for AMC today is I promise you in the next 2-3 weeks, you're going to hear that restructure with AMC. You guys, you got to remember one thing. They were having meetings over the last month. Hey, if you can do this, we'll restructure the debt. Well, guess what? He just paid down $161 or $4 million or whatever it was. What did I just say it was? It was $163.8 million. Now, one of the things, and I do want to give credit here to Tony DeNaro, I don't have access to a Bloomberg terminal. One of the things he showed us last week, the bonds for AMC were trading at 70 cents on the dollar. Okay, a lot of people ask me, why don't we issue bonds? Why don't we issue bonds instead of paying it down with stock? Why don't, instead of doing offerings, why are we doing it at these bonds? Because when our bonds were trading at 70 cents on the dollar, below that before, you're just going to kill yourself restructuring through that type of way. You got to get it to where it's feasible, where you want to get this closer and closer and closer to $1. We're now trading at 85 cents on the dollar instead of 70. 15 cents on the dollar is a very big jump on a boost, or in the bonds. So again, this helps us when we sit down and we do this negotiation. So we're going to now, again, the lenders don't want us to fail. I know everybody thinks that these lenders just want to kill us. No, they don't, because in the end of the day, they're going to end up inheriting AMC, which is a bunch of fucking projectors and some seats. And then they're going to look at the popcorn brand that at that point, we're not going to buy it. We're all going to leave. The popcorn brand won't be worth anything. It will be worth some, but not much, not compared to what it is now. The suites, all of it, all of their assets will plummet the second they lose retail. On top of that, so they're going to take huge hits there. And yes, they could do some things to hedge in case this happens, but now they're they're coming out even, maybe up just a little bit to the point where they're like, fuck it. Their best interest is to keep on collecting and collecting from AMC from these payments. Oh, a second here. Sorry, I don't know what's going on today. I feel like I'm getting sick or something. So again, this helps us with this negotiation that I expect in a week or two here. We needed to make a giant move. This now gave us that move that needed to be made. That 2026 debt was our highest interest rated debt. Now, on top of that, one of the things I want you guys to learn is that saves us $17 million a year in interest payments. That's $4 million a year a quarter now that we're not burning on interest. Now that we're getting rid of deferred rent, we got rid of that credit facility payment. And now this, again, that's already $45 million a quarter that we're saving going forward. There's your debt payment going forward. Now, Q2, I still believe is going to be very, very successful compared to what Q1. I still believe we can break 2 billion, 1.95, right around that area. I was hoping we'd hit 2.1, but I believe we'll be about 1.95 to 2. Again, I believe AMC can turn a small profit or a very, very small net loss. But the rest of the year, again, we should be profitable going into all of next year. Now, next year, they've already said, and it's again gotten more and more and more content since then. 2025, we will be completely profitable each quarter. So again, there's no reason for them to not want to get this money back, make all their payments. They will do the restructure. They've already showed us by wanting this meeting, by telling us what they needed to restructure. Like I said, this will all be done here very soon. Now, one of the things when this debt restructure is announced, you will see AMC's price bounce back just off of that news alone. Because again, now you're getting rid of all of bankruptcies. You're shoring up your balance sheet. And that's one thing I've been saying we need to do until we get to profitability. We got to get it. We have to do it. We can't just sit there and burn, and nobody ever wants us to do any kind of offering. The next thing you notice, you have 1 or 2 quarters left of cash burn and you're fucked. Again, why would they cover unless something makes them? Which, again, this is why I cover the rest of the economy so much, because the only other thing that's going to make them is all the shitty-ass moves that the Fed are making and allowing these guys to get away with. But eventually, I've already shown you, the Fed are operating in a loss. It's coming back. It's coming to fuck them over. They're already taking billions and billions in losses again on the federal discount program that they made, or the federal lending program that they made. They already made $20-30 billion at this point. It's like right in the middle now of debt that hasn't been repaid that was due. So again, these guys are eventually, this is going to come to an end. I know that I sit there and say that they're going to go ahead and get, everybody's freaking out. Oh, they got 15 years to pull off this. No, I don't believe they have 15 years to pull this off. I don't think they'll get that far. But I think that this is where it's kind of like a Credit Suisse type shit where they'll be like, well, we hit all these things, but you're not going to be able to hide it. That's the problem. Too many of us. The problem is too many of us have shares. There's too many records. There's too much shit out there. Again, people that don't think that it's possible for them to give out too many shares. I can't remember that stock, but they already showed you when all this happened in 2008 and everything. That one dude owned 100% of his shares, and 99% of the float traded the next day. And that's when a ton of short selling investigations went in. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. When you can sit there and fill shares before locate, you can sit there and do gray areas. Like I said, there should be no such thing as a market maker. Market makers are literally just criminals. Payment for order flow is criminal. The word liquidity is criminal. It means a market maker somewhere created an IOU using exemption rule 203B, and eventually he'll fill that share for you. And they can sit there and keep doing it and marking them as exempt. And I already showed you through the CNS program. I'll just do the one thing quick. Whoop, sorry, CNS DTC. Now, through the CNS program, which is where these guys operate, this is why I think it's a fucking gong show. And this is why it's stupid, because it always goes back to these criminals at the top and shit that they don't show you. And this is why that first... It was like 3 years ago, I showed you guys the iceberg report. And one of the things that they talked about was the CNS program. This is where all the bodies go. This is where they all go to die. And this is the problem with the CNS program, is right fucking here. It's this exemption right here. It is such a fucking joke of an exemption. While CNS deliveries are made automatically using members' depository positions, which I already showed you. These members come in, they deposit into one program called the CNS program. They deposit a whole bunch of shares according to them. And then the shares are lent out and all this bullshit, okay? Now listen to this. So members can exempt certain short positions to avoid segregation violations and meet other delivery needs. So as long as other people keep fucking ordering, they can keep these things exempt. And then they can wait until, oh, I got this need over here. I would fill this right now. But I got to mark that as exempt because I got to fill this share over here with this one. I got to fill this over here, so I got to mark this as exempt. I got to mark this as exempt. Okay? And then watch this. Where the fuck is it? Hold on. CNS positions. Hold on. Short obligations. Member can use CNS exemptions to control automatically delivery of securities. No, that's not it. Hold on. I'm getting there. The hell is it? Hold on. Oh, wait, they're called the share buyback. So it's called the share buyback exemption, but I'm not seeing. It's the share buyback exemption. So they have a share buyback exemption. Hold on. I could have sworn to God it was up here. Hold on. It might be up here. read all these, but hold on. Where the fuck is it? All right. I'm not going to keep looking. Apparently I can't find it. So there's this trade bag exemption that they can sit there and they can also be exempt until there's enough trade volume to fill them out. So they can sit there and be exempt on these things for a long ass time until there's a sufficient trading volume. No, that's whatever. But either way, like I said, the way that these fucking pieces of shit could sit there and keep on transferring this and transferring this and transferring this, it's just a goddamn gong show. But now, for everybody at AMC, we were at 951 million on those notes. We're now down to 787, 550. So, again, that gives us a lot more leverage at the table. We'll get a lot more better coupon rate. Again, I showed you we're trading at 85 cents on the dollar. So, again, we'll get a better coupon rate. So, this will help AMC insanely amount in the end of the day. This was, in my opinion, a great move. And this is why, again, I don't understand people that wanted him to take advantage of the, what, you wanted them to file a prospectus, watch it drop, and then by the time he got to do the offering, it already would have been dropped down. No, the smartest way for Adam Aron to take advantage of the price movement was to do a private offering at that time, because once again, you're now aligning those guys on with the company. They own shares at the company. If they own shares at the company of 733, do you think they sold today? No. So again, people that complain that he diluted and the float went up, it also was bought as much as it went up, and it never touched the fucking market. It never touched the market. And it was above market value. If I sell shares for above market value, why the fuck would that make it go down to $4.96? When those guys again didn't sell. Why would it drop CAS? Why would it drop GameStop just as hard? Why did GameStop get halted? Why is GameStop getting halted all fucking day today, just like AMC was yesterday? Is it because AMC sold shares? GameStop hold. 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 Is it because they sold shares? No. I guarantee you, if she was posting GameStop dark pool prints, they're doing the same shit over there. Because here's the thing that confuses me. They say our buys, you guys know 50%, 60% were filled off exchange. So 60% of buy volume was filled off exchange. 40% was probably short volume. So they could control it at that point if they really wanted to. So for some reason, the price was flying up. And what we always know is the news. Like I said, I showed you like 5 different things that could have happened. Schwab could have definitely got caught with their pants down. They had to, on Monday morning, listen to this. So on Monday morning, they had to buy for 1.8 million clients. How much stock did 1.8 million clients own? People that keep asking me, why do you think that Schwab got in trouble? Because they had 1.8 million people's worth of shares they had to buy. And how many shares is that? Hundreds of millions? Who knows? Could be a billion. You never know. Who knows how big the clients are? You never know. So I think they could have got caught running in, trying to fill those in, and all of a sudden it's like, fuck, we got caught. It could have been these leap years. It could have been retail piling in. On top of that, the other thing people are talking about, which it makes no sense. They keep on saying that market makers and all these people hacked his fucking account, and they wanted us to buy to create liquidity to fill, which, I mean, if they did that, I mean, that's pretty fucking genius, I guess, but they hacked his account so there would be liquidity in the meme stocks. So why they did the run up in the halts and the halts and halts, they had the liquidity, as you guys see now in the dark pool. They had the liquidity to slowly offset some of those fucking dark positions and those swaps that they couldn't leap over. But one, I don't think D fucking Value's account was hacked because, dude, this went viral. I mean, this was on news. This was all over news, all sorts of news networks. There is no way that he doesn't know that his account was posting. There's no way Keith Gill did not know that somebody's using his Twitter right now. There's no way. And you're telling me after 2 days, because he could technically end up, maybe they could come after him again. Hey, we're bringing you to court again for this stuff. Look at you pumped it, you influenced it. We're doing the same thing again. He wouldn't take that risk if somebody else was out there hacking his account. You're telling me nobody he knows told him? He never saw any of this on any social media. He never saw it on the news. And he was just like, you know what? I'm cool with it. I'm cool with this guy hacking my account for days. It's definitely him. Yeah, unless Keith Gill is kidnapped somewhere currently. And if you watched all of his tweets before all this, it's the same style. It would be pretty wild if it was hacked and he didn't know by now. But like I said, him coming back 3 years, the leap year things kind of make sense as well. Charles Schwab again could have got caught with their pants down while they were also trying to fill up some of these leaps. But again, as you guys can see, I just showed you 20 dark pool prints. They're doing the same shit to GameStop. This is why Deep fucking Value told you guys, stop fighting. Let's do this shit. It's us versus them, guys. It's us versus them, as you guys can see. If they don't remove... Let me ask you a question. If I can't remove the buy button, what else can I do? I'll just halt you every fucking half a second. Like I told you, the first 2 hours is when most trading is done. And if I can halt you 19 times in the first fucking 3 hours, most of the trading's done. Most of it's taken care of. Most of that mass volume jump, they could control because they kept on stopping it, bringing it down. Stopping it, bringing it down through a dark pool. Stopping it, bringing it down through a fucking dark pool. Like I said, this shit's so fucking stupid. Biggums, look at Eric's question. Let me look up at Eric's question. Where is Eric? Eric, do you want to just ask your question one more time? Or let me... Where the hell is Eric? Hold on, I don't see Eric yet. I keep seeing Ethan. I can't find him. I went up pretty far. Do you want to send me his question one more time? That's what I'm saying. And that was the thing that was fucked up. It's like blood halts each time. I was like, okay, you're moving up fucking 5-6%. You're moving up on 10 cents, 12 cents. That one time, and they moved up 32 cents on AMC, and they fucking halted it, and it was like 5%, 6% moves. You're like, okay. But yet you see these other stocks come out there that they want, and suddenly these things will jump up fucking $400 in 1 second, no halts. They're good to go. We know. It's not worth it. Eric's question was dumb. It was about if Leafs push this back 3 years, can they just do that again? Well, that's what we kind of went over. It was about if these Leafs came over, they could roll them over again. And if maybe they just needed to deleverage enough to roll those Leafs over one more time. So then that was them doing this shit in the dark pool. And then they sat there because they knew it was going to explode when these guys had to start to deleverage some of these leap options. So that's what the halts were. Hey, we're covering this amount. Watch it fly up. Boom, stop it. Boom, stop it. And we'll fucking do this, and we'll do this, and we'll cover this, and we'll cover this. But we need explanations for the volume. So now squeeze not till after cat system. Well, the cat system's in like, what, 18 days? What? Yeah, the cat system's in like 18 days. Or 16 days, sorry. It's the 15th day, sorry, it's the 15th. I forgot what, I haven't even looked at the date, never. So the cat system's in, what, 16 days. We'll be fine. Once the cat system goes live, like I said, there's going to be a lot more of these. Your data's incorrect. You're going to see a lot more violations. That's going to be so easy to track. I expect them to start going after these big guys because that was the number one thing. We can't go after these big guys because it costs too much money. Because these fucking douchebags over here will hide everything in offshore accounts and offshore this and over here, and we don't have the resources or tools to go after them. Well, good thing it's at the click of your fingertips now. If cat doesn't do anything, we fucked. No, I don't think the cat system's going to be the end for him. I think the banks, we're going to see the banks go down, and that alone's going to be the end for him. I used to super care about the cat system, and it's amazing. It should have been done fucking day one. The fact that it wasn't is pathetic. That rule that they wanted to get exempted from, that will change everything. The cat system will change everything. But I'm still trying to figure out how swaps will be at play with a lot of this stuff, where it comes to leveraging these things. And I feel like a lot of it's going to go a lot more through ISDA, and a lot more through the back end is going to be used. Just like now you're seeing the shadow banks used a lot more. I think when the cat system goes live, you're going to see a lot more stuff involving options, flex options, all this crap that they're using over here to try and get around it, but they're not going to be able to get around it because, once again, there's just too much stuff. It's just too big at this point, guys. It's just too fucking big. And the problem is they thought we would leave. They did these leap options. They thought people were going to fucking leave, and guess what? No one left. We just got smarter. So at some point, they're going to have to make a decision here because, again, it's like you're playing a game of poker and you're telling your opponent what they have in their hand, and they're just like being a fucking child and just not putting their cards down. So the game can't play until they fucking act like a big boy. Well, the only way to make them act like a big boy is have their mommy and daddy come, time to grow up. And guess who that is? It's the bankers. And the way the bankers are going to do that is you need to go ahead and we need to, again, fuck the bankers up. We need them to have more pain, and we need the feds to not be able to bail certain banks out, and that's exactly what's about to happen. Like I said, give it about 2-3 months here with the commercial real estate explosion, everything else going on in the economy. These guys are they're too over leveraged. Everything that's going on in the shadow market, you've now reached 1.7 trillion, or 2.7 trillion, sorry. 2.7 trillion in the shadow market in the last 3 years. That's in fucking sanity. So again, they're all stuck on the same fucking hill, and they're all using the big Meg 7 as hey, here's our assets, here's our collateral, look at their prices, they're fucking skyrocketed. You're all on the same hill. And again, NVIDIA, all those guys, they're all a sham. They're all cooking their books. And all those same guys now, they can't go to the banks anymore because the banks won't give them any credit. And every single year and every single month, credit tightens and it tightens and it tightens. And like I told you, they're not going to be able to lower rates, and they're going to have to fucking raise them. And if they raise them again, that means credit's going to get even harder, and these banks are going to get even harder and harder on these guys. And that's exactly where we're heading. Nobody wants our debt anymore. Nobody's buying our treasuries. No one's buying these bonds. No one wants it because it's fucking trash. Because the United States is at a deficit that's growing and growing. We have a debt that how the hell are we ever going to pay back? You have 7.6 trillion rolling over. You have 8.2 trillion rolling over next year. That's now going to go from 2% to 5%. You're now going to be paying at the end of next year $2.2 trillion just in interest payments. You're already on your downhill spiral. There's nothing they can do to stop this fucking train. The only way to stop this train is you need this fucking MOAS to stimulate your company, and you're gonna have to get over it because you guys printed $6 trillion. You funneled what, $3.5–4 trillion out of the United States. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to bring that back. You're gonna have to fucking bring it all back. You're gonna have to pay us through it, and then your economy's gonna have to stimulate itself back up. It's the only way to do it. Otherwise, again, it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. And eventually, people are gonna wake up because they can't fucking eat. They can't afford a box of cereal for $12. Eventually, they're gonna ask what the hell's going on in this country. Why they see politicians, every single one of them, have what, hundreds of millions of dollars. You know that politicians, almost any politician you click on is going to be richer than almost any one of your favorite athletes. One of your favorite, well, obviously not like LeBron James and stuff, but not to say favorite, not like the top 50, but almost every politician you find will be richer than the 50th man in every fucking sport. It's stupid as shit. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Celebrities, everybody you thought would be unbelievably rich. There's celebrity rich, and then there's politician rich. Nancy Pelosi made $7 million this month. So far this month, it's been 15 days in. Nancy Pelosi's made $7 million insider trading. No big fucking deal. Meanwhile, we pay her, what, $170,000 to... So they pay her $7 million in 15 days. And what we do is we pay her $170K to be on our side. Whose side do you think Nancy Pelosi's on? Oh, she's a piece of shit. The obvious rules to fixing this country. I mean, Jesus Christ, they're like the most obvious things I've ever heard in my life. You mean politicians shouldn't be able to insider trade, and that's how these fucking corporations pay them to vote for them, to give them unbelievable rights and laws that any average human would fucking be in prison for their life for? The fact that I can pull up 7,000, I'm going to say that number one more time, 7,000 plus violation felony crimes by the banks since 2000, 7,000. Zero arrests, by the way, for all of those. What are we doing here? They've paid like $500 fucking billion. Think about this. Violation. Think about this. I mean, truly fucking take a second to think about this. They have over $500 billion in penalty fines. If there was a crime of any single kind in the world, and they heisted $500 billion, would that not be the only thing talked about for like fucking ever? That's just what they paid in fines. That doesn't even tell you what they stole. 500 billion. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm sorry, it's not 500 billion. I apologize. I do apologize. I over-exaggerated. I did over-exaggerate. It's only 388 billion in fines. They have 7,728 fines. And I do apologize for over-exaggerating. I was guessing and I was way off, but they do have 388 billion in fines. Bank of America has paid 88 billion in penalties and zero arrests. They have 328 felonies, 0 arrests. JP Morgan funded a sex island, and they have 277 other felonies, and they're good to go at $40 billion. Could you imagine if somebody fucking had $40 billion in penalties from crimes? How is this guy not in fucking... Every one of them not in prison? This thing burned to the ground, closed down, and every single one of them never allowed to see the light of day again. These guys... South Korea... It was like South Korea or somebody. They just prosecuted all these people for life for the same shit. Like, they're never going to see the sun again. Another country ended up killing somebody over the same shit. But we got JP Morgan Chase funding Jeffrey Epstein's sex island. No one cares. They just pay a fucking little $244 million fine and move on. You're pedophiles. What are we doing? Just 266 right hot on their trail, Wells Fargo. I said these accepted favors and consents are the biggest joke in the world. And these fucking options, these flex options, all this shit. Like I said, we had 19 halts. 19 halts by 12 o'clock. Okay. And once again, I wrote this earlier. I see the media blames us for pumping stocks, but you don't hear anything about the market makers. We efficiently set the price where me and 8 other fucking people, me and 8 other firms think it is, and that's the market being efficient. Okay, well, it just blew up right back down, and all they're gonna say is, well, it's your fault for being bag holders. Okay. Like I said, this shit, it's just fucking comical at this point. It's just fucking comical at this point. But does anyone have any questions at all? Why doesn't he do a YouTube video? That's a question I cannot answer. I honestly don't know him personally. Maybe he doesn't want to anymore. Maybe he got in trouble from the court cases, and maybe he thinks doing videos is enough. Maybe he doesn't want to take an hour out of his day to think of all this content, and maybe he's just like, fuck it, I can just pop off a meme quick. Take him a second, I don't know. But does anyone have any questions at all? I'll do questions here for a little bit. I haven't done any questions at all. But I do expect, you guys, AMC's price to bounce back here. I do expect it to be in $7, $8, $9, $10 range again here pretty shortly. I do expect us to announce a debt restructure in the next couple weeks. And after that debt restructure, again, you shall see a rebound on the stock price. And again, guys, everyone, just relax. And all the shows are going to be out there talking the same fucking shit. And then you just say to them the same thing I just said. If this offering killed the price movement when he bought it above, usually when somebody buys, shares at above market price, that doesn't make the price go down. I didn't know that made the price go down. First of all, number 2, why did GameStop go down, and why did Costco go down when they were all 3 went up at the same time, did the same shit, and had the same drops when they didn't do any offering? And when we do the restructure announcement here now within a week or 2, and it rebounds once again, what are you going to say now? Because again, here's the problem. Fundamentally, AMC's stock is going to recover. You're shoring up and fixing the balance sheet. And on top of that, you're getting into profitability here very, very, very soon. I'm talking maybe even this quarter. Everything they need is coming together. 2025, we will be profitable every single quarter. You'll be profitable every single quarter. Maybe Deep fucking Value's dead. I don't think he's gone, man. Eventually he'll come out. Like I said, a lot of this does look like a repeat too. It does look like a repeat of the first time. So that's the other thing too, guys. just because we had 2 days of red, and then we had a day of, or I'm sorry, 2 days of green. You now have a red day. You're still more green than you were to start the week. Like I said, you'll bounce back. We'll be fine. Just calm down. Again, everything for us is getting better. Why environmentally in the United States, it's getting worse and worse for them. And again, they're running to shadow banks harder than ever because again, they can't go to a bank. Credit is drying up at too much of a rapid pace here. Let me see. I was gonna see if Boss wanted to do a stream for a little bit. I'll have him jump in my stream here. I'll have him jump in my Discord. Maybe do a call quick on him. Let me see if he's even streaming quick. Hold on. Let me see if he's probably streaming right now. Maybe got I think he's done. No, he's live.
Things you can do with all the time you saved because you used findlaw.com to find an attorney. Work on your dance moves.
I think I can just call him right here. Let's see what happens here. Can you hear me, buddy?
Hear you now.
You hear you now?
There
Yep.
we go. What up, buddy?
What's going on over there?
Are you streaming? I just see a black screen on your stream.
Yeah.
No,
I literally just closed it out. I'm gonna pop it right back open.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure it wasn't messed up.
Figuring after a 7-hour stream, I'll just make a new one. I don't want people like having to look through a 7-hour stream to find it. I'm about to go live again on a fresh one right now.
No, I hear you. No, that's
Perfect.
definitely a good idea. I don't know how long
You know what I mean?
mine.
Yeah, people would just go ape shit if they had to go through 7 hours of content to find us together. AMC Live with AMC Bigums. Now that's fitting.
Yeah, maybe.
How's everything going over there?
Mine. Good. How you doing, buddy?
Are we looking? Oh, you talk about the lead contracts yet? Or oh, you know what? Let me just save that for a second. Give me 1 second. Let me just jump on, and then we can talk about that.
Here, I'll
We can
put
talk
your
financial
put your
runs,
face in the
whatever
middle
else.
there. You know, now they can watch your chat and mine.
I'm gonna put a picture of old Kenny G right in the middle of this one.
We've got
a lot to talk about for sure because there was so much misinformation.
So
many people concerned about stupid shit that there's no reason to worry about.
Well,
I literally had to explain the same thing over and over again.
1 second, let me get you out of here.
Let me turn down my volume a little bit. We've got noise suppression on. Is that all right there?
Oh, I bet. No, I got you. I know what the problem is. I got the problem. All right, you want to try talking for me?
Deal live with my guy Bigums here.
Yeah, they're probably picking up my speakers. What's going on? Can't hear you for some reason.
I don't know if you can.
got you clear.
Clearly. People are saying there's reverb. Not sure why there would be.
What are they saying?
I mean, that was a while ago. It looks like. I think if you can't hear it, they can't hear it. But I'm not hearing anything on your end. You sound good.
No, yeah, you're good now. You're good now. My mic was too close to my speakers.
Been there.
Yeah, doing amateur shit.
Been
Dude,
there.
not bad.
Even Dave Lauer just posted that the options markets and leap theories are compelling. Like, take it with a grain of salt, right? Anybody watching? Yeah, he's saying, looking at historical volume on info on GameStop, what I found is a bit shocking. May 3rd, it blew through its average daily volume, trading 36 million shares and stayed high through May 10th, long before the price really broke out. By the way, I think this volume analysis seriously calls into question the prevailing narrative that this price movement is primarily a result of the Roaring Kitty tweets. Something else is going on here. Options markets,